Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Ryan Tillman, founder of Breaking Barriers United here. We're actually going to do a little something different tonight for this next episode of the podcast. This is a family affair tonight, so we have our spouses in the building, my mom's in the building, the Savage's wife is in the building, moms, kids, everybody. So there will be a little bit of background noise, kids crying. No, there's no kids crying. They're obeying over here. But hey, get ready for this next episode. You guys will love it. Take care, and then we'll be back to our normal schedule next week. Love you guys. Take care.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the It's Needed podcast where we...
Okay, I'll help you out. Don't worry, baby. I got this.
We do what again?
Yo, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of It's Needed, the podcast, where we discuss real issues involving law enforcement in the community. It's your boy, Ryan Tillman, founder of Breaking Barriers United, and we got a special edition tonight. I had to correct my wife a couple of seconds ago. Make sure you get that in there, Billy, because that's good for bloopers. But got my wife here as a special guest, along with it's the Popo and his significant other, the one that he called soft, but we won't talk about that.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
Oh.
We got Columbus, Ohio in the house.
That's
here
right.
in Cali.
And the Savage's wife is actually present around in the building as well.
We got B here.
She is in the background over there, Mrs. Savage.
Mrs. Savage.
And then we got our two boys. And my Mom Dukes is in the house too.
Yeah.
She told me not to put her on camera though.
She really wants to be on film.
So this is more of like a family episode, a family edition of the podcast. So thanks again for having us, all of our listeners and viewers. So what do we want to talk about tonight? We want to talk about what's it like to be married to police officers, and what are some of the issues that you guys have with us, or some of the behind the scenes. So we gonna kind of just, me and AJ, this is our chance, AJ, to kind of just take a back seat, right?
That's what I'm saying. Let's just chill. Let's just talk.
Because we do all the work, and they probably want to talk anyway. They've
been waiting for this moment.
Yeah, they want to rip us.
Really, I haven't. I mean, I'm good on the sideline. I'm super good there.
Bianca, we're going to let you get in too, because the Savage ain't getting off easy either. So, it's pretty funny, but we're going to let you guys take over. So what do you guys think of us as being police officers? Let's start there.
Well, I mean, honestly, I get that question sometimes, like, how is it being married to a police officer? Are you worried? Like, I would be worried and things like that. But I think because from the very beginning, when we first started dating and even when we were married, Ryan wasn't a police officer. So I think being there from the very beginning and praying about him getting into this profession and just knowing like the Lord led him to this has brought like a lot of peace to my life, like knowing that he's here for a reason. I know the Lord's got him. Like, I don't need to be worrying about anything, because I don't want to waste the time and energy worrying. And I don't think there's ever been a day that I've worried about you.
Which kind of makes me worry, because I'm like, dang, does she even really care about your boy? Like, if something happens, like, she's like, nah, I'm good. Like,
I know, like, I know he's good. Like,
she's like, hey, we just upped that insurance policy, right, babe?
Cut that check.
That was my first to-do list after we got married.
Oh.
So, babe, what's it like for you to be married to a police officer?
So I always tell people this because they're like, I don't know how you do it, how you're married to a police officer. And I'm like, well, I'm married to AJ. I married a person who
absolutely
is a police officer. And also, like, for AJ, and I know for Ryan, it's not even that it's just their career. Like, it's not just their 9 to 5, but it's their life. Like, this is their passion. This is their, dream that they're fulfilling. And that makes it a lot easier. Like, when you watch somebody where you just know, like, God has placed them on this earth to be this thing, it is so easy. It takes all the risks and makes it worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just like, oh, they're 9 to 5, I'm going to work and this is what I'm doing. Like, I know the Lord is using them, reaching people, they're motivating others, and that's obviously what brings me a lot of peace, is he's out there doing what he's called to do.
Right. Exactly.
Oh yeah. We trying to get this mic situation figured out.
Yeah.
So I have another question for you guys. So obviously we're police officers by day, but me and AJ, he's doing it's a Popo, doing a lot of speaking, me doing a lot of speaking. How has that affected you guys, as wives? Like, has that affected you guys at all? Like, what we do, or expound upon that.
I don't know if it's affected me either way. I mean, I'm super proud. I'm super, super proud. I'm motivated and inspired by you all the time. why am I gonna cry right now?
Babe, you can't be getting emotional on this podcast.
No.
No.
It was soft right now.
Yeah. Fair foul. Why be getting inside right now?
Listen, I'm postpartum 3 months. I still have emotions, okay? But you know what? I am. I'm very proud of you, and I've seen obviously what you try to do, and especially reaching like the kids and the youth, and just really motivating these kids to be more than what they think they are, and really showing them who they are. And I just get really proud of you.
I paid her to say that, y'all, just so y'all know. I paid her. She's gonna hook me up with some nice J's after this.
She really got teary-eyed too.
Yeah. What about you, Shelby?
I say the same. When AJ and I first started dating, he talked a lot about, his dreams and what he wanted to accomplish. And, not that I didn't believe in him. Like, I definitely believe that he would make a difference. But I think sometimes you wonder, especially, when you're dating someone, you're like, we all have dreams. And yeah, I loved where his dreams were going. But to actually watch those dreams come to fruition and to be along his side through it, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. And it's been quick.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. I think Shelby and I, we were talking a little bit about it, just being like that right-hand person for you guys, like being that partner, seeing everything just come to life, and seeing your guys' like dreams, and like, you've always wanted to be an entrepreneur and own your own business, and just seeing where BBU has come from, and like where it's going, what it's doing, and knowing that this is what you've always wanted, like that, to be right by your side with every step. That's been really neat, really cool to see.
So my question to you both would be, if you could give advice to other police wives or future police wives, what would it be?
Good question.
Yeah. Okay. I know this. I've had to learn, obviously. Definitely time to decompress. Absolutely time to decompress. I mean, we have a full family. We have 3 kids. They're all 3 under 5 children. So for me, as a stay-at-home mom, sometimes I'm like, I can't wait for Ryan to get home. I need a little break. I need a little breather. Just, I need to get out of the house a little bit. But I know just from experience, when he comes home, he still needs some time, a little time to decompress. I can't get on him right away about the kids or what we need for the house. So that, I feel, is really important, giving them that time just to relax. If he needs to watch a little show on the couch or play a little game on his cell phone, like that, for me, I had to.
That golf clan, y'all, just.
I had to learn that.
That golf clan.
Yeah, golf clan, always
about
on
that brick breaker, though.
on his golf.
Hey, right now I'm like Tiger Woods on the golf clan right now. You just don't realize it.
Yeah. So that, and then always be, I would say, I mean, if you believe in the Lord, always be praying for your husband. Always be praying. That's just what I do. I'm praying for him all the time, for his safety, that he continues to do what the Lord's called him to do. And I feel like that's important. When your husband knows that you're praying for him, and and your wife supports what you're doing, I think that's important, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. What do you think, Shelby?
I would say learning your spouse's nonverbals. So when AJ comes home, like, I can kind of tell whether or not he's had a tough day or not, and then to kind of adapt accordingly. Like, just like you said, like, give them downtime, don't ask a lot of questions, and just kind of give them that support without hounding them, like, well, why was your day so bad? Or because they're not going to want to share or bring in that kind of negativity or, sadness into the house a lot. Sometimes they just want to know that you understand without having to explain for you to understand.
Right, exactly.
And so I think just kind of learning that with your spouse and giving them that space.
This is me every time I come home, y'all. Hey, babe, how was your day? It was all right. Was it really all right? I don't know. Was it?
Yes.
Something happened?
There's so much that Ryan doesn't share with me or tell me because he doesn't need to, like either bringing it up again or it's just things that I don't need to know
we are
about.
complete opposites. Like, I'll ask my wife, hey, how was your day? And an hour later, I'll find out how that day was. With me, like, hey, babe, how was your day? It was cool. And she's like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, it was cool. So it's just funny, like, but we've learned kind of like, opposites.
Something that I've noticed, I was talking to Jones, my partner, the other day about is when Shelby asked me, like, how my day was, unless, like, something crazy happened, I'm always like, it was all right. But then, like, if I actually sit down and think about my day, like, man, we had this crazy crash, we had this DOA, like, this happened. But, like, we see and deal with it so much, we're always like, yeah, it was normal. It was average. It was a normal day. So it's just kind of funny how that works.
So this is going to be kind of funny. I don't know if it's possible, but I wanted to ask a question of Bianca. But is that, can we make that work, Billy?
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Bianca, you
yeah.
got to get into this. So Bianca is the wife of the Savage,
Mrs. Savage.
Yeah. So I just want to ask a quick question to Bianca. Actually, a couple questions.
Yeah, we got a whole list.
Yeah. So yeah. So Bianca, one thing that's cool is like I've known Billy and Bianca for probably how long? Like 4 years. And so Billy's obviously, come on board with us on our team. How do you feel about the Savage, joining these two cops and doing the work that we're doing? And because you're the wife behind his scene at home, even though he's not an officer. I kind of consider Billy as like an officer now because he knows and hears everything now. So how do you feel about that?
Well, I guess for me, watching Billy do video work or whatever he's doing, his projects, I just kind of watch him. He has his projects, he'll come home, and his editing, you can tell when he likes something based on his editing, like how quick he gets it done. So he told me, I've been praying about this. I want to call Ryan. And I'm like, okay, call Ryan. Like, that's great. So, and I was like, take your time, just make sure that this is, what the Lord has. So him and Ryan met up. And then just going into everything, like he comes home from anything it's needed, BBU related, working with you guys, and he's like on fire. He's like, oh my gosh, babe, look. And he's like on his phone and like just, he's so excited. So for me, just to see that passion in him, I love it. And he always tells me like, I believe in this. I want to work hard because I believe in what Ryan and AJ are doing. And I'm like, all right, I do too. I mean, I believe in it too. I'm so happy that he found something that he like loves. So yeah, that's
legit. Now I'm gonna ask a question to all you ladies.
Oh, that was cute.
Ladies. What is one thing that's the most annoying thing that we all do? Me, Billy and AJ, since we've been doing this. Now, the reason I bring this up because there was a funny story that Shelby brought up yesterday when we all went to dinner about what AJ does when he went to the bathroom. So I need you to share that story, but then
I missed this part, y'all.
Oh, yeah. No, it was funny. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Because you were in the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had to
Shelby
explain.
knows what I'm talking about. But I also want you guys what is the most annoying thing that we do now? So I'm gonna let you go first, Shelby, and don't go too far, Bianca, because I'm sure Billy does something that's annoying as well.
So how much time do we have?
Oh dang,
I'll make it short. So like we talked about, the men, they need some time to decompress. Now we live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so AJ's decompressing room is the bathroom.
Tell him.
And sometimes I'm like, are you, like, I'm a nurse, so I'm like, are you okay? Like, you go in there a lot. Like, are you well?
My man is regular.
And he's in there for a long time. And so sometimes, I'll pause the TV and he's just on Instagram. You just hear all of these different videos. Now, whenever he's like, it's like Billy, whenever he's real excited about something, like he's real excited about a post that he's going to post, I will hear that at least 374 times in one bathroom session. Like, I just hear it on repeat. At that point, I have memorized it.
Is it his post? Like, is it his voice?
It's his voice, his sweet, sweet voice. So it's, I wouldn't really necessarily call it annoying, just more of like a concerning, are you good? Are you all right?
Listen. Hey, to all the listeners out there, you know that it was good when you get off the pot and your legs are asleep. That's all I'm saying. Like that's the goal, right? Like,
you got that tingling
yeah, you got like hold yourself up halfway. Like, that's the goal. If my legs ain't asleep, I ain't off yet.
Oh,
all right.
My goodness.
I text AJ one time when he was in the bathroom, and
That's the thing, by the way. We text each other
We
back
do.
and forth.
I
That's
said-
how long I be in there.
I said, hey, like, do you really need to go to the bathroom, or like, do you just not want to talk to me today? And he goes 50-50.
Hey, that's really good. 50-50.
I'm living my best life.
Hey, that should be the name of this podcast. This is episode 50-50.
We just
Babe,
keep it
is there
real.
anything that I do that's kind of annoys you?
You're perfect, babe.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. That is definitely a lie.
Oh, that air ball he shot earlier.
Gosh.
I know she gets annoyed with me being on my phone. I can tell you that. Like, and I'll have to sneak it.
Yeah.
Like,
for
I'll
sure.
have to act like I'm doing something. Like I'll be on Instagram and I'll be looking at my videos or something like that, or looking at the views, and then the wife will look at me and I'll like double tap my iPhone so like I'll pop up the Bible. I'm like, oh, I'm just reading scriptures right now, babe.
Just Jesus time. That's all this is.
We 54 days straight in this Bible app. You
I'm
know
gonna start
how
praying for
many
you.
days?
Yeah.
What's your streak like on the Bible
You're
app?
like, are you on the right day?
No, 10,000 prayers. That's what we.
Well,
Yeah, I think that would be the main thing. I think too, because like I said, I'm home all day. We have 3 kids. I'm like, when you come home, I'll give you some time. But once that time is up, like, get off your phone. Like, be present with your kids, with your wife. And honestly, he's gotten a lot better because, you know, we have that open communication where I'm telling him, like, this is what we need in the home. This is what I'm expecting. And so we've had to have those conversations. Like, he would tell me, I need time when I get home. Don't bother me. I just need a little bit of time. And I'm like, okay, but I mean, it can't be all night. Like, you can't be playing Golf Clan all night.
getting my Tiger Woods on. You know,
So that,
me, Billy, and AJ secretly text each other about like, hey man, where are we at with views?
Oh
right
yeah.
now?
All
yeah.
day.
What's some numbers looking
all
like?
day. All
Bianca,
three of them.
what is? I know Billy's got to do something that kind of annoys you.
I'm like, let's see. No. It's probably the phone thing too. I think it's 50-50 between if he's on Instagram, or sometimes he will take a project and be so obsessed with it, like what you were saying. He takes so much time to work on it, and then when he's done with it, he watches it 1,000 times until I've memorized it, and I'm like, all right. And he's like, it's okay. Like, and he's even said he'll like watch things on silent just because he gets all embarrassed because he knows that I'm like, what, are you watching that again?
I'm with you, Billy. I'm with you. All right.
Probably that. And I think it's gotten to the point where he'll just be like, just one more minute, just one more minute. And then he's like, okay, phone's away. But then, like, it's so funny because I can't really blame him because I pick up my phone a lot too. So I'll notice if I grab my phone, he's like,
Oh yeah, that's that. Oh yeah,
look at
that's
the views,
fair
look at the
game.
views. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Did you get on the phone?
Yeah. Yep. Boop. Got
oh
it.
yeah. So that.
I did that.
It's so obvious. If I like even if I reach for it, I'm like, I know he's like reaching for his phone.
That's
Like,
fair game.
but yeah.
It's like,
So
it's
same
go
thing.
time. It's
Yeah.
go time.
Yeah. It's the phone.
So I guess it's safe to say that our phones are probably the most annoying thing that happens.
No, for y'all,
Yes.
the
For
toilet
y'all.
is the worst one.
For y'all, it's the toilet.
Yeah, she just mad. I'm regular. I don't know.
My man
Over here, like,
been
drinking fiber.
prune
Like, how do
juice.
I get
My
to
man
that?
drinking prune juice.
Let me live.
You know, but honestly, it's been funny, and I bring this stuff up because, you know, our lives are changing by the day, I guess, because, you know, obviously we have our day jobs, and I always say, you know, I'm a police officer by day, entrepreneur by night. But, you know, we've been getting so busy. I mean, obviously I'm flying to Minnesota Tuesday and different things like that. And so we've all talked about it. Like I said, it's been a good weekend that we got to spend with each other. But it's just crazy how our lives are kind of changing a little bit. And so, you know, it's kind of cool to just document this change as it happens.
No, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so go ahead.
So I actually have a question for you, Ryan.
Ooh.
And that question is this: if you had a message for police spouses, so whether it's a police wife or a police husband, what would that message be?
So I get that question kind of frequently, especially it's usually one of the questions where, hey, you know, my spouse doesn't really support me going into police work because they're afraid of the job. And I could definitely understand why you would be afraid of allowing your spouse to go into this job because it is dangerous. However, you know, I always tell people, and one of my mentors told me this early on, is that when you become a police officer, you actually become kind of safer than the actual just like a civilian, because you get training. They teach you how to respond to situations. They teach you a whole bunch of stuff. And so they kind of teach you and train you to be safer. And so, you know, my biggest thing is that if this is really what your spouse wants to do, then support him or her as much as you can. I truly believe I'm a spiritual guy. If it's not the Lord's will, then it won't be. If it's the Lord's will, it will be. And if it is, then as a spouse, you should support that, because you don't want to stop your spouse from doing what God's called them to do. I truly believe God's called me to do this profession. We've seen it change lives in a tremendous way. And by you, babe, being there to support me with the family and the kids and the boys, you're allowing me to be my fullest that I can be for God's kingdom. But God is also allowing me to help you be your fullest to what He wants you to be. And so that will kind of be my biggest advice. And I don't know why my son is cracking up right now.
Just busting out laughing.
It was not scripted to have them in the podcast today. But that's what happens. Life with 3 kids.
That's it.
Hey, AJ, you got the same question, bro.
Okay. So my message would be, just be there, be there and be supportive. There's going to be times where your spouse comes home and they might not want to talk about like their day or like things that they've experienced. And just you being present and being supportive like means the world. And, Shelby does an amazing job at that. And it means the world, Yeah, that's it. Just be there, be supportive.
Is there anything that you guys have for us or any other parting question that includes you, Bianca? Savage, do you have anything to say? I know you behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Say that. I'm still salty that he won the ugly Christmas sweater contest.
Yeah, we know why.
How that happened.
We know why. Oh, I gotta say that actually, because this is like my first time realizing this here in Cali. Like, Billy is the minority.
Billy is a minority around here, y'all. And Grayson laughing. He don't even know what he laughing about.
Like we seen like a white person at the Wingstop place.
So we went to Wingstop, or the little Wingstop, and AJ was like, AJ saw a white guy there. He was like, hey, is the white people are minorities around here? And I was like, why?
Mind blown.
I was like, yeah. I was like, well, kind of, depending on where you at. He was like, I was like, why? There are a lot of white people in Ohio. He was like, oh yeah. I was like,
yeah. So Billy is really like the minority. So like we need to have Billy on the podcast. Like he knows what's up. Like he knows the struggle.
Billy deserves Billy deserves some rights. We gotta give some
hashtag Billy's plight.
My son laughing. He don't even know what he's laughing about. Yeah. Hey, but this is I think this is a cool episode. We'll have to do this more. If you are a spouse of a police officer, send in your guys' questions, because they can answer them probably better than we could.
Yeah.
Because they have to deal with our shenanigans. My wife thinks I'm Hollywood now, even though,
He got that K.
I did get the K. Today was a milestone, huh, Billy? Me and Billy were secretly texting each other the whole day today as we were reaching milestones. So my wife low-key thinks I'm Hollywood because I just walk around the house with a robe on.
And sunglasses.
And some sunglasses. Like, don't talk to me unless,
And some velvet slippers. This is outfit for the whole day.
I got it from AJ, because AJ's been Hollywood, for a few months now. AJ did the whole Illuminati, got us in the Illuminati today since we got a K behind our followers. So
I just don't know what's about to happen. I just don't know. Swipe up what?
Ooh, y'all got anything? Any parting words? Anybody? Dang.
Pressure's on.
I wish I did. I mean, I honestly, we did not see our life to be this way. When we first got married, this was not what we were expecting. I don't know if our listeners know your backstory as far as you never had the desire, to be a police officer. And you mentioned it
a few times.
So to see where he's at now and what the Lord has done in our family, and just seeing BBU grow and it's been really neat.
Needed. And what about that? It's needed.
Yeah, and it's needed. The It's Needed conference. We're super excited about that, August 1st, and so we're super excited about that. So just to see just everything happen, it's just been really neat to see this.
She said it.
I do have another question for the wives here, because I'm full of questions. This is good. I like this. So, being married to a police officer, right? How does it make you feel when you see the headlines on a nationwide basis?
It's very frustrating. It is so frustrating. I remember this one comment. It has so much ignorance. I think that's what it is. Just so much ignorance. The comment said, "The only good cop is a dead cop." And I'm like, why would you say that? You don't know these guys. Like, they're just humans. They're husbands. They're dads. They're like, what does that mean? The only good cop is a dead cop. Like just the ignorance of some of these comments is really, really frustrating, because I'm like, if you just knew Ryan, you would know, like, he's got a great heart. He's a wonderful husband, a wonderful dad. And so to see a lot of people take the headlines and take the big stories and blanket it across, for all the officers, it's just, it's very frustrating. It is very frustrating. And, so I think this is why I like what you guys are doing, obviously, for people to see the human side. Hey, you guys are just regular guys. You know what I mean? You love your wives and your families, and you're just like any other guy out there who's trying to work hard for their family and make a difference, And so, it's frustrating.
What's your question or answer to that, Shelby?
I think now that I'm married to a police officer, I have a lot more awareness. I was probably pretty ignorant before I met AJ. And I didn't always have the best interactions with police officers either. And so I don't know if I really had the respect that they deserve. So being married and kind of hearing some of the stories, you just don't think about. And even something as simple as, like what you said, going on a DOA, like arriving somewhere in which you're seeing somebody who has taken their own life or been murdered, or even when it comes to children, like, it's a lot of stuff that you just don't think about, having somebody come home and have seen that, and then they almost just have to go on with their day.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't think about that when it comes to what they have to do every day.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
It's a lot of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that me and AJ have talked about this, and people actually have hit me up on Instagram and said is, hey, be careful about putting your business out there, because, obviously the job that we do, people can try to hurt me or hurt my family. And that is scary, to think that, somebody could use, especially with me and AJ being so out there now. Fortunately, sometimes it puts our families out there. But I truly believe the work that, AJ, you and me, the work that you and I are doing, and the work that others out there, like, Officer Ferrari, I'm going to shout out some officers that I know. Officer Ferrari.
Hey, he is hilarious, by the way.
Officer Ferrari is hilarious. Daniels.
Great guy.
My boy Trick Shot Cop, Arius, guys that I work with. We're putting our lives out there. But one thing that stands true for me is that when Martin Luther King did what he did, it was very, very dangerous as well. Mm-hmm. People knew who his family was. People, they threatened his life. There was a lot of other people that were similar to Martin Luther King. And so I truly believe that the Lord has his covering on us. And that's kind of to answer a question that was not asked, but that was just kind of on my heart to share, to answer those questions, or to combat some of the statements that have got, like, hey, be careful. Like, yes, we are being careful, but at the same time, I believe God's got his covering on us. And unfortunately, sometimes, especially in the day we're living in, it takes a courageous act to make some courageous changes. And so, please continue to support us. The way we keep our family safe, the way me and AJ stay safe, is through the support of our listeners and our viewers. Because if you guys get behind what we're doing, then we're a lot stronger together than we are just alone. So that was something that the Lord just put on my heart to share right now too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I know a statement that Shelby made to me that kind of hit like hard was, she said, like, Shelby's asleep when I get home normally, and she said that she knows that she could officially, like, go to sleep when she hears the sound of my Velcro on my vest come off, because she knows I made it home safe.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
So like, when she made that comment, like, I just kind of like took a step back and thought, like, wow, like, we don't think about it, right? Like, we get home, we're just like, oh, I can't wait to take this vest off, to take this belt off, and the boots and the uniform, and hop in the shower. And, like, we don't think sometimes, like, what it's like for our spouse to be home, to be worrying when they see a headline, especially if it's like local, right? Like local officer hurting crash, or, God forbid, like gunfire. Like, we don't think about it, right? Like, we already know what's going on. We know it's not us. We know we're not safe. And me personally, like, I know I'm not thinking about it, like, oh, I'm good. Like, I'm going to keep working and dancing with kids or do whatever, right? Not thinking like, oh, Shelby's home probably freaking out right now. Like, is it AJ? Is it AJ? Or is it Jones? Or is it, all the rest of the officers who we consider family and partners and brothers who she does as well.
And I want to, on that note, I do want to send our prayers out to the spouses that have lost somebody in the line of duty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a blessing that I can still sit here with my wife, my kids, AJ, his wife, Billy, his wife, my mom, and everybody, and just, you know, have this conversation. But there's people right now that can't do this conversation right now. They no longer have that person with them because they died, you know, in the line of duty. And so they're probably, if there's somebody that's out there listening to this that's like that, you know, stay strong. What your spouse did was a courageous act, and we're here to continue to carry on their legacy. And the reason that we're trying to step out and do this courageous act is so that way, you know, more people support the law enforcement officers out there, which makes it a lot easier for them to come home every night. So, shoot, you know, I don't want to end on no somber note, but you know, that was it. Announcements real quick though. Hey, we do have the It's Needed conference coming up. It's August 1st here in Riverside, California, at the Riverside Convention Center. Be there, be square. You know, we should actually do a class for spouses at the conference.
I like that.
Like do a breakout session for spouses.
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Super cool.
So if you guys think that's a good idea, inbox us, because that might be a really good idea to do a class for spouses of law enforcement. But that conference is going to be phenomenal. So be there or be square. This podcast is being brought to you by Breaking Barriers United. So shout out to the company, and again, shout out to you, Billy, and Bianca. And a little Savage Jr. that's brewing in there.
Savage Jr.
Yeah. We need now. All we need is a little. Oh no, it's the popo.
Hey, y'all, you better stop.
Hey,
Man.
I
support that message.
That message was approved by Shelby. That message was approved.
For those of you who don't know, they've been pushing kids on me for the longest time.
All weekend.
They jumping me, y'all. They jumping me.
All weekend. All weekend. Grayson, do you have any last messages for the listeners? You don't want to talk into the microphone?
want to talk into the mic?
Tell what award did you get this week?
I forgot.
What award did you get on Friday morning? Student of the Month.
Oh yeah, Student of the Month award.
What was it for? Because you were good at what?
And I blend. No.
Your blends?
Yeah.
Yes, you're reading.
Oh yeah.
So we got my son here. My son got a Student of the Month award. Got a proud daddy.
And he was not that shy a few minutes ago
No,
because
he
he
was
told me
not.
he read 3 books.
3 books.
He read Brown Bear.
Yes.
He read ABCs,
Ooh.
and he read a Dr. Seuss.
Look at AJ, Uncle AJ over there. Remembered that. Look at
I
that.
got him. Brown Bear. What do you see?
And you got a BJ's gift card, right?
Yeah, he got BJ's. For,
Wow. So
he read the books to his class. Did he tell you that?
Oh yeah, Brown Bear. What do you see?
Yep.
Like for the class, like the teacher was like, "You want to read?" And he was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll read." And he read those books to his class. His classmates were like, "Okay, Grayson, like
Grayson,
go
know
ahead."
what's up.
This is a proud mom moment.
Yeah,
Oh, you know,
Grayson, take
I'm
it
already
over.
like, yeah, it was in the class. You know,
In front of everybody. The
Don't take
teacher was
that away
there.
from my
the whole
son.
class. It was the whole pre-K class. He read the book.
Grayson taking over already. Young leader right there. You
3
know?
books.
Leadership taking over.
Not 1,
Say-
not 2. How many, Grayson?
You being silly.
Yeah.
Oh, he being
Hey,
goofy.
well, hey, all I know is that we got BJ's on Grayson, so that it is what it is.
Yeah.
BJ's on Grayson.
They got good Pazookies.
Thank you, thank you to all of our listeners out there. Sorry for coughing on all you guys right now. That was not a
All
sick
our
cough.
Billy's mic,
That was
yeah.
that was just a dry cough right there. I promise.
Throw
you.
this mic away, Billy. Throw that away.
Shout out to my mama. Mama, I see you over there.
Yeah.
Nani with her Nani's angel over there.
She has our 3-month-old daughter, Rylan, right now. So
And-
she's taking care of her.
And my pops and everybody. It's a family affair today. So this
It is.
This was actually pretty cool. We have to do this again next time. We have to do a destination place. So
Columbus, Ohio.
nah, they don't got
Billy-
mountains in
Billy
Columbus,
now.
Ohio. They don't got mountains.
Y'all don't even like y'all's mountains here.
I
You
mean,
don't even care about them.
You don't
was
even
the funny
appreciate y'all
thing.
mountains.
Yes, so both AJ and Shelby, they were like shocked at Ryan and I that we didn't appreciate all the mountains that are around.
that's
here.
because they in the background all the time.
And I'm like, I forget that they're
it's like
there.
a background.
We just appreciate life in general. Like
Yeah.
we
Let me
appreciate
ask you-
everything.
Let me ask you
Like,
this: do you appreciate your computer saver every time you get on there? No, you
My
probably forget
computer
your screensaver.
saver?
Your screensaver.
What is a computer saver?
Whatever. Your screensaver.
I don't even know what that is.
Your
Ryan.
screensaver. Do you appreciate your screensaver?
I'm going to
every time
answer
you
that.
log
He
on?
does because his screensaver is me. And he
There you
appreciates
go.
me daily.
Okay. Oh,
I got you, babe.
Hey, what's your
Aaron.
screensaver?
Aaron, the wedding photo.
You see the hesitation in his voice. He was like,
Because I felt like you knew it. It was a trick. Like you said it too confident. Like, well, what is it?
All right, we can ramble all day, guys, but thank you guys for listening to this latest episode of the podcast. We love you guys. We wouldn't be anything without you. Stay tuned for more information. Go on breakingbarriersunited.com, and we will see you guys later. That's a wrap. Take care.
Boom.